Kia ora, good evening. Invercargill police are seeking information about a vehicle they believe may have hit a pedestrian on Tuesday morning. At around 12:40 a.m, a 46-year-old man was walking on the footpath on Ellis Road when he was hit by a vehicle in what police believe was a deliberate act. The vehicle involved is believed to be a red Holden Rodeo utility, which was later found abandoned on Arete Beach after being reported stolen. Police would like to hear from anyone with information about the movement of the vehicle around South Invercargill or travelling toward Arete Beach in the early hours of Tuesday morning. Anyone with information can contact Crime Stoppers on 0800 555 111. The Department of Conservation has issued 2 Stewart Island tourism businesses with new permits imposing strict conditions on how they do business. Shark cage diving has come under scrutiny recently after locals expressed concerns the operations were putting power divers' safety at risk.
The new 2-year permits impose strict conditions which DOC says will protect the great white sharks and minimise potential conflict with commercial power operations. New conditions will include a ban on feeding the sharks or the use of decoys, controls on commercial filming and restricting viewing to one area 6 kilometres from Stewart Island. Cage diving operator Mike Haynes says he's welcoming the new permits and any conditions protecting the species from harm. Activities of the operators will be reviewed after a year to ensure they are meeting the new requirements.
Fonterra has launched a new pathway to membership in the cooperative as an attempt to grow market share in New Zealand.
The dairy giant has launched a separate milk sourcing subsidiary called My Milk, pitched at non-Fonterra suppliers. 1-year applications are open in Southland, Otago and Canterbury for farms without the obligation to purchase Fonterra shares. The move could enable farms at the development stage to support the co-op model without having to share up when it's currently beyond their financial reach. My Milk volumes will be capped at 5% of Fonterra's total volumes and contracts will be limited to 5 years. It's hoped farms will then apply to become shareholders in time. Fonterra says the move will improve cost synergies and help fill the spare capacity at several South Island plants.
Ratepayers are being asked to complete a survey so Invercargill City Council can gauge community reaction to council becoming financially involved in supporting building owners of heritage buildings or buildings in the city centre to have them strengthened to meet earthquake standards. ICC's Pamela Gear says there's been a low response rate so far and she's encouraging people to get involved.
We're asking whether or not council should be involved in the business of providing financial incentives. So should we be giving rates relief? And if so, for how long and what percentage? Should council be giving low interest or interest-free loans to building owners to do strengthening? Should we be waiving building consent fees, for example? Or should council be buying buildings, strengthening them and then on selling them? So we're just trying to get a test from the community as to what they would like council to do. So if council was going to put financial and make a financial commitment, what would it take?
Some of the results that you have so far, just should the council offer rates relief to property owners while their building is being strengthened? Do you have some results for that to date?
Yes, we do. So far we have 70% people think that council should be offering some rates relief, which is quite a high percentage.
Are you surprised at that response?
Well, I often wonder if people understand if they get rates relief, everyone else has to make an extra contribution. But that's an indication that people really like the heritage in the city centre, and so we all value it. It's not just the building owner that gets a value from that building. So I think that's a reflection that our city centre has some really important heritage values.
Something else that's been raised in the survey, should the council provide a grant towards earthquake strengthening?
Yes, once again that was a positive result with just over 50% saying that council should be doing that. So not as clear cut as the rates relief, but once again, it's something that council can explore.
Quite a strong response in swaying one particular way. Should the council publish a list of all buildings and their earthquake ratings on their website? The people are looking for more transparency.
Yes, and that was about 75% at this stage of people have said that they would like to be able to go onto council's website and know the strength of the buildings that they're going to be either going into to shop or do business, or maybe they work in those buildings. So the community is telling us that they would like that information to be made available to them.
Stay with us after the break. Traffic's waved down as a yacht tacks through the city, plus it's almost time for student graduation. Welcome back. Southern Institute of Technology students and staff alike are well into preparations for tomorrow's graduation. Our own reporter Sharon Rees was at SIT today, picking up her regalia for tomorrow's ceremony.
I am one of many students who have finished their course and are preparing for graduation tomorrow. But it's not just the students that have to worry about the graduation ceremony.
The majority of SIT staff from all campuses throughout the city are preparing for the biggest day of the academic year. This year's ceremony will see 460 students graduating, each with friends and family attending the ceremony, and an event like this doesn't just come together overnight.
There's the admin and secretarial staff who have to do a lot of the printing of the certificates and the transcripts, admin staff checking enrolments against the graduates. There's a lot of staff that we pull in to help with, for example, giving out the regalia, making sure people get the right hoods and the right gowns. So I would think there's over 100 people involved. But a lot of the preparation starts really from about mid-year when we start to book caterers, and when we book the town hall, that's done 5 years in advance. So a lot of it is well in advance. Of course, there's a lot of last-minute things that have to be done, like the regalia given out, all the certificates signed, the transcripts signed, all the checking to make sure they're right. So while there's a long lead-in for some of the things that we're organising for it, there's also things that have to occur just at the last, after people have finished their qualifications.
But perhaps the most important job of all, at least to the students, is making sure we all look the part. SIT staff have ordered, sorted, ironed and folded regalia for every student and staff member involved in the graduating process. The first graduation ceremony begins tomorrow 1:30 p.m. at Invercargill Civic Theatre. Sharon Rees, 2014 Diploma in Journalism graduate, signing out for South Today News.
An impressive sight took shoppers and motorists by surprise today as a yacht cruised through the city's streets. Manoeuvring from Bluff to Te Anau today was the 66-foot motor yacht Faith in Fiordland, where it will moor at the historic wharf in Lake Te Anau to operate charter scenic cruises. The 38-tonne motor sailor is built from teak, oak and mahogany and is one of the last vessels designed by the great Albert Milne of Glasgow in 1935. The boat's been operating out of the Marlborough Sounds for the last 5 years. Mark Ormeland is the inspiration behind the vessel's rehoming, complementing two other old world 1930s themed classics he has operating in the area, including a DC-3 providing scenic flights and the former Nightcaps Convent operating as the Te Anau Lodge. Next year's Arts on Tour lineup has been confirmed, and there's a great range of live and local top acts performing in top towns near you. Acts will perform at 30 odd events around the country, and included in the 2015 lineup is Southland's dynamic duo Liv McBride and Graham Waller of Into the East.
Well, the first tour of the year is a Southland group called Into the East, and we're very happy to introduce our programme, Menu 2015, which is selected on the basis of the quality of the acts, the availability, the pricing, the behaviour, should I dare to say. On the road, we always want really good people, and we get really good people.
I can't imagine those two will give you too much trouble, Steve. We are quite pleased to hear that there's another Southland act on the back of Too Far From Heaven, the play last year. Yeah, that was a fabulous success. Too Far From Heaven, Invercargill Theatre Company. It was really, really much appreciated right round the country. And of course they initiated their own energy for that show by heading off to Edinburgh and having a successful season there, so we were delighted to have them. So two Southland acts 2 years in a row. Is it an indication that perhaps we're picking up our game down here?
It's bound to be. You've got so much talent. I know there's talent here. Just talking with Into the East about the number of quality musicians that Invercargill's got. I know.
What other acts in particular are appealing to you for this next year's round?
Well, we've got two coming down for the Southland Festival of the Arts, which is the Jews Brothers out of Auckland, and that's their 20th anniversary. They've been going a long time. They're a fabulous, fun act. And the other one is Meeting Karpovsky, a theatre show, dance show with Sir John Trimmer, who's the veteran dancer from the Royal New Zealand Ballet, and we're really pleased to be able to get him out and about, tipping and tripping the light fantastic with Helen Mulder in Meeting Karpovsky.
So a good variation in the acts that are coming up. Where do people get tickets and when do they go on sale?
Well, the local presenters, in this case it'll be the Southland Festival of the Arts, and all sorts of different presenters that we have on our circuit.
Today we heard from Environment Southland giving their holiday message for the festive season.
Hi everyone, it's been a really interesting and busy year at Environment Southland. Some of the highlights would be giving away lots of bottles of parasitic wasps at the Waimumu Field Days for controlling clover root weevils. We had some fantastic environment awards, particularly Joyce from Wairarahiri Jet was given the Councillor Award for the good work she does on a number of years of work with coastal cleanups. Really busy with our Water and Land 2020 and Beyond project, which is our response to the government's NPS on fresh water. And we've got a couple of collaborative partnerships going on with other partners, bringing some funds in for some work that we're doing around the science and the economics of that work. Recently, the Matara River won an award for reduced phosphate levels from the Morgan Foundation. And we announced our air plan, which I guess has caused some controversy. We've had about 800 submissions. And we'll work through the process of those next year, listen to what people have got to say and make our decisions based on that. Quite a bit happening down at Waituna with the clean-up work continuing on the Waituna stream, some rebattering which will work to really reduce the amount of sediments that creek can carry into the Waituna Lagoon, particularly in high flow events. So next year, it's going to be busy again, lots of work around Water and Land 2020 and beyond. I urge everybody to get involved in that process. We want to know what you've got to say about water quality, where you think it should be improved, what your values are regarding our lakes and streams. This is not just farmers, this is urban people as well. So we're looking for your feedback next year. We've got a big plan change coming up called our Water and Land Plan, and we'd like to hear from you about that. My Christmas wish to you, please be careful out there on the roads. They're really busy this year. We've got lots of visitor drivers on the road. They're probably not that sure of our road rules. So let's all just cut them a little bit of slack, ease off on the pedal, and we all have a safe and happy Christmas.
Stay with us for sport next up after the weather. From the news team, good night.